Hello guys, this is Dr. Lior Bar-El, and I wanted to share with you, since I've gotten a lot of requests actually, and it's funny because I made a mention on my Facebook. I followed them from the beginning, and a bunch of people, they saw the first and second episode, and I'm going to tell you on what, and wanted to know exactly what I felt about it before they're going into the YouTube Red category, okay? So the show is called Cobra Kai. It's a kind of a spin-off, not really a spin-off, like the continuation of Karate Kid 1, what happens to Johnny Lawrence, and of course, I gotta tell you, they gave 2 episodes as like a little taste, which I like better than giving just 1 episode. And the rest of them, in order to see them, you have to be a YouTube Red member. Now, I gotta tell you something. I'm a big fan of YouTube Red. I followed them since the beginning, and I always said, and I wrote to YouTube, I remember so many times on forums, on every little thing, guys, you got Netflix, you got all this. You guys are the king of streaming. And, and I think that everybody in the YouTube community, no matter what you want to do, I think it'd be really beneficial to have this kind of Netflix, Amazon Prime type of, streaming service available. And what do? They release it, and they have good shows on it. But, guys, I got to tell you, this show, Cobra Kai, especially if you're a Karate Kid fan, but if you're not even, is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Today, we have most of our shows on television riddled with PC nonsense and all kinds of garbage, that are modified and crapped on. That you don't get the quality shows that we had back in the day in the 80s and the 70s, the 60s, and so on and so forth. To see these kind of shows actually emerge, I think we should show our support to it, because I love the free thinking, type outside of the box type of, all of that. And the old fashioned morals, stories. I mean, I know we all, we watched Full House as as kids. Today's Full House sucks, whatever. But I'm saying how, even though it's kind of cheesy, we look back in those days and we see how cheesy it was. We always remember the morals and the grounds they stand on. And it's just really awesome that it's kind of sad you don't see in today's TV shows, really. So they came out with this. This is not cheesy by any means. This is not like Full House. This is like the 1980s versus 2018. It is literally the best TV show, well, streaming show, but from all the TV shows that I've seen so far, thus far. This has got to be one of my favorites overall. And I'm not kidding when I say this, because I have a lot of favorites, even in the television world. But I got to say, this is my overall favorite. I mean, I wish that I could have spaced them out every week so I can see it and act like I'm watching a show instead of binge watching it. But I just want, it's like a good book, a good book series. Once you put one down, you can't wait to get started on the other one. This one is exactly the same. You will find yourself that even though you say you're going to wait to see the episodes and try to space them out to kind of, control, pace it, you're not going to do that. Once you put one down, you're going to see the other one. Now, YouTube Red has a 30-day free service for anybody, when you first join. So I recommend you do that, especially if you want to see the first season of this show. See that, take it and then watch this show. It's incredible. This time, Johnny Lawrence is the protagonist. Basically, I'm not going to give you too much about the show, but, it's like Johnny Lawrence, after what happened with that crane kick, it kind of fills in the gap. They even have never before scenes, parts being seen. A lot of characters from the show are going to make an appearance there, according to what I heard. But you see that, obviously after the passing of Mr. Miyagi, Daniel LaRusso has kind of lost his way, became rich. He kind of became the thing that he hated. And not really. He still has his moral grounds. He's not like those guys in the old shows. He still has his, in his time, the ones that he was going up against. But he kind of lost his morals a little bit. And you kind of see him a little bit cocky. And you kind of could see that even in the trailers, if you guys want to see, where, he tells a bunch of, his friends in the car lot, in the car lot right there. And he was telling them, this is the guy. One of them was asking him if this is the guy that you kicked his ass. He says, well, actually, it was just, you know, technically it was just his face, and they were laughing about it. And then he offers to fix, you know, Johnny's car for free, and you'll see exactly really why it kind of makes sense and why he deserved to have it for free. But you kind of see things from the perspective of Johnny Lawrence. And you kind of see that Johnny Lawrence has kind of redeemed himself. He's trying to redeem himself. He still has his attitude, which I really love, the Johnny attitude. You know, the very 1980s, calling people assholes and you know, douchebags. And it's just so cool to see that. But you see it through his face, and then he trains a bunch of kids. He reopens Cobra Kai and trains a bunch of kids that have been bullied, and trains them how to take initiative and you know, be strong and face up, you know, go against you know, the bad times in life. And meanwhile, at the same time, he's kind of redeeming himself. He's kind of learning, you know, all the stuff he as a kid that he, you know, that he sort of like abandoned. And you see them building their relationship slowly as well. And he builds also the relationship with the children that he trains. And I just think it's just so cool to see that moral ground. You know, face your bully. Face your bullies. Be a better person. You know, all of that. And you kind of get that. You see that Daniel is slowly going to learn how to become more, you know, kind of be on the right path by, you know, communicating with Johnny. And Johnny repenting for his past sins. And you kind of see that Cobra Kai was the one that made him the evil son of a gun that he was. But it's kind of, it's just incredible. This show, I highly recommend it, people. Cobra Kai is amazing. An amazing show and a must-watch, and I do hope that YouTube Red gives them the funding to continue on to Season 2, Season 3. From what I heard, I remember in early, you know, interviews, they basically said it was a giant movie that was cut up into episodes. And it does kind of feel that way. But the thing is, I would love to see another season. I don't want to see this end. I want to see this go on for 6, 7 seasons. I think it would be really beneficial to them, to YouTube Red, because I think they're going to get a big majority, especially of the people that are reminiscing about that. Now, it's so beautiful for those who are just coming in and never saw Karate Kid movie. You know, part 2 was okay. Part 3 sucked. The best Karate Kid is part 1. So if you guys just see part 1, for you guys that never seen the show before, I mean the movies before, just watch part 1, and you know, if you want, you could do part 2, but watch part 1, and then after you see part 1, go into the series full on, and you guys are gonna really love it. I think you know, everybody in the new generations loved it. Everybody that I know, I work with a lot of people that are from the you know, from 2000. They were born in the year 2000, and they're 18 right now. You know, and they loved it. They absolutely loved the show. They loved the movie, the first one, and like me, they hated part 3. Part 3 was kind of dull. But you watch part 1, you're gonna really love it. You're gonna see the connection he has with Mr. Miyagi. I think you guys should watch also part 2. It was pretty cool too. But you kind of see that connection he had with Mr. Miyagi, and how really Mr. Miyagi was sort of Daniel LaRusso's wings. And once he died, you kind of see the wings, you know, cut off, and you kind of see how he's degrading sort of himself as a person, but still kind of holds on some moral grounds here, some grounds here. But I recommend everybody watch this. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Make a YouTube Red account. It's 30 days. You get it free. You know, you get 30 days free, and you could definitely binge watch that whole first season if you want. If you want to wait for the second season, I don't know how the YouTube Red works. You might be able to get all the first and the second season. But I don't think you should wait. I really think you should watch this show right now. Watch the movie first if you guys never seen it before, and then just go right into it. To be honest with you, I even saw the first movie before I went into it, and I followed them from the beginning when they were doing trailers, even before trailers, even their, you know, interviews and all of that. I followed this and was waiting for this to come out, and I couldn't go crazier. When I saw the first 2 episodes, I was reminiscing about old times, but also having that new flavor. I love what they did, because usually when you have these remakes, they sort of cater just to the new generation and completely lose the entire thing Karate Kid represented, and you kind of see that. And to see them still keep the old values and bring in the new and kind of make it go together and in such an awesome way. I mean, you guys, it's something that, I mean, these guys are so talented, the ones who wrote this, because you kind of see the connection between both worlds, and both worlds, both generations, all, you know, from those generations would be able to see this and love it, because it has new values and old values connected together. I just think it's incredible, incredible to see shows like this that are not, you know, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but you can clearly see this in shows, that they're kind of being controlled into giving messages, and kind of corrupted messages, or they're scared to give certain messages, and they're not just they're not free thinking, they're not releasing things due to these limitations. And you kind of see such a, like, for instance, I grew up on G.I. Joe, you know, G.I. Joe, you know, with guns blazing, everything. It was cool. Every kid loved it. And today you don't see shows with, you know, people with guns or whatever. You know, you don't see that kind of stuff. You don't, I mean, as cartoons. And you don't see these kind of things anymore. You just don't. And they try to bring them back, like Full House. You saw how it completely destroyed everything the other Full House was. When you get these shows into it, a lot of the times you're conflicted. Sometimes you try to stick to the old ways, but then you see you're not getting a good response from the new crowd. So you start focusing more on the new crowd and make a completely different thing. In this situation, the old and the new, they catered to both. And they made it so freaking well. I guarantee you guys, I guarantee you that you guys, I dare you guys to watch this and tell me you don't love it. And definitely hit me down below on the comments. As always, I give you guys honest reviews. I am not funded by anybody to tell you otherwise. I'm not going to link you to make any type of money off you. I'm telling you the absolute truth in anything I do. I'm self-funded here. And I'm telling you guys, this is something you do not want to miss. This is something I think you'd even want to show your kids or your grandkids. This is something that's really, really incredible. And I urge everybody to watch it. And YouTube, I urge you, please, I'm begging you, make them come out with a season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Support it, because you guys are doing great, and I'm so happy that you started the YouTube Red phenomenon, as I'm calling it right now, even though I was begging you to do this even years before. I'm really happy that you guys are coming out with this, because it's time that, you know, to have competition between Netflix, which I'm not a big fan of, especially some of my shows were ripped off from there. I didn't like Netflix at all. I just, you know, got it just because it had, and I had Amazon Prime. I had them both, so, you know, they fill in sort of the gaps. But none of them really contain shows like Cobra Kai. And I hope that YouTube Red could bring shows like that, like Cobra Kai, into their, you know, universe. And I think that they're going to be a great success. YouTube already is a great success. And, you know, to have YouTube Red, I think they'll be able to take over the market in a way. It's just my thing on it. But I definitely urge you guys to watch Cobra Kai. I give it a whopping, I'm going to say 10 out of 10, and you know I don't usually give 10 out of 10s, and on this I'm giving an actual 10 out of 10. Amazing. Whoever wrote this, it's just so beautifully done. And I urge you guys to comment down below, and as always, subscribe, hit the bell button, and what do you call it, like the video. If you know, watch this show, I want you guys to watch it and comment down below and let me know what you think. I don't want to sound like I'm the only one here. I know many are saying it's amazing, but I wanted to give you the old 1-2 here from an honest review standpoint, from an honest reviewer who's self-funded. And I want you guys down below to validate what I'm saying by, after watching the show, write down what you think down below. As always, tune in for, you know, a ton of other episodes that are going to cover anything from technology. Be sure to also check out my what I'm uploading right now every Sunday, which is going to be the how to build a gaming computer on the cheap. I'm going to show you guys from every part I'm reviewing, and then I'm going to show you guys how to build it. Then I'm going to have a mini series that's going to be released also every Sunday. That's going to have to do with 3D printing, how to make a helmet from start all the way to finished product. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that through settings and everything on your 3D printer. So definitely tune into that. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and hit that bell button. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.